Plug those headphones in. It's time for Ireland's only interactive podcast, the multi-award winning Opinions Matter with Adrian and Jeremy.
Hello, this is Adrian Kennedy. This is a short little clip from our most recent Opinions Matter podcast. If you want to hear the whole thing, go to wherever you get your podcasts and search for Opinions Matter with Adrian and Jeremy and follow us there.
Yeah. Now, a friend of mine's daughter works in Arnott's. And
had no work to go to the next day.
No, she was working there that evening.
That's terrifying.
And she said the staff there, if you saw the video of it, the staff were they were hiding behind the counters.
They were still in there when
they were still in there. Yeah.
I thought it was after hours. They'd all gone. I didn't realise that staff were still on the scene.
No, sure. I think it was a Thursday. I think it was late night shopping.
That's terrible.
But they were cowering behind the counters as these animals barged their way in. And we want to talk about the sentence that Kyle Lawrence was given. And I don't want to talk about, because people are saying, "Oh, what about a fella that did the stabbing?" Yes, he is before the courts at the moment. He has been charged. We can't talk about his case. He's been charged. That case will be brought to court as soon as the evidence is all put together. So there's no point in talking about that. Okay, there's no point in talking about that, because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that led to the riots." No, it didn't. Half of these people rioting didn't even know what they were rioting for.
That young fella has no political side, regardless. Now, I do think, to brand him a far-right activist.
I haven't heard it being saying far-right. No, I wouldn't say
no, but I've heard people saying, I've seen online people saying far-right activists. This is one little scumbag who got involved in something. I don't think it was a far-right act. I don't think it was a political act. I think it was somebody who got carried away and was a scumbag.
Yes, he did get carried away. So let's see what he did. Several clips of CCTV footage played in court showed Lawrence throwing items at public order units, so firing items at Garda cars, throwing a fire extinguisher at a Garda car. What the hell? Which later went on fire. Kicking and hitting an abandoned Dublin bus. Like what did that got to do with what happened to that poor child? Was the Dublin bus's fault? I don't think so. The bus also later went on fire. Lawrence was then seen on CCTV entering several shops, including Foot Locker. They always go to Foot Locker. You wouldn't see them going into a library, would you? You won't see them going into a library.
Or Eason's.
Oh, can't rob books. So into Foot Locker, of course, to get the Nike Jordans, because that's very important, and was left seen carrying a shoebox. On Mary Street, he smashed a fire extinguisher at a window of Penny's and then entered Lifestyle Sports. Again, mad into sport shops they are, where he was then seen leaving with several items. So it was literally carnage. He was involved in carnage. And the judge gave him...
I don't think it's fair to blame everything. You're making it sound like he was leading the whole thing as well.
I'm not suggesting that.
Let's be honest here. What he did was pure scum, thug behaviour. Absolutely, but
there's no but. There shouldn't be a but.
No. It's not that there's a but. He wasn't leading the whole thing. You're going on there listing out everything as if he was in charge. Now, what he did was wrong, absolutely, and he should 100% be punished and penalised for what he did, because it was scumbag behaviour. But I suppose the question here was,
sorry, then do you agree with the 3.5 years handed down by Judge Nolan?
So I'm divided on it, right? You're going to say, what about? But I do have to ask, what about? I'm not talking about the guy who did the stabbing.
Alleged, yeah. Because
but this judge has let a man with 1,800 images of child abuse on his computer walk free. Now, I'm not saying that this guy should walk free in the Rioter. Absolutely not. But why is a paedophile able to walk free? I agree that this guy should have been given something, but 3.5 years, he'll probably never work. He'll never get a job. He'll never get employment. His life is destroyed, and what he did was wrong. But at the same time, I wonder why he got such a heavy sentence, and there's people who deserve triple, 4 times that,
absolutely,
who are still on our streets.
Absolutely, but I will say they're two separate issues. Yes, it's the same judge, and it makes absolutely no sense. But we're not going to talk about sex offences today, because this fella was locked up. And yes, I agree with you. Anybody who commits a sexual offence should be locked up and the key thrown away. But this particular individual, people are going mad.
It just seems very harsh, considering when you look at other crimes, and what he did was disgusting. I'm in no way saying.
Okay, do you think
poor
3.5
kid,
years? Do you think 3.5 years was fair?
I think it's probably a little bit harsh for an 18. A little bit harsh.
I think it should be double.
No, okay. Well, look, definitely he should. He deserves to be punished. Definitely. But this is going to destroy his life, and he will never come back from this.
Okay. My answer to that would be play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Here's Jonathan.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, or boys and boys, whoever's on today. Just seeing the topic for today's show. And here we go, isn't it? Now, he got caught. He got sentenced. I do think it's a bit heavy-handed, but I'm all for law and order. He was there, he made a bad decision. That's fine. My question is, where's all the rest of the photographs? All the ones that were doing the looting, and all the ones that were wrecking the shops, and all the ones that were in doing all that kind of nonsense. Where's all their photographs? Where's all their sentences? That's what I want to know. I have my opinions and my theories on why they're not getting plastered all over the mainstream media. But, you know, conspiracy theorists are us, as the case may be. So that's my only question. What about the rest of them? Are they all going to get heavy sentences to make an example of them, like this young lad? Because that's what's going to happen. Because I highly fucking doubt it. Because we go back to it again. Two-tier justice system, Ireland. That's what this is, and that's what this will highlight as far as I'm concerned. Nothing more, nothing less. Cheers, boys and girls, or girls and boys, or boys and boys. Have a great show.
Opinions Matter. Opinions Matter. With Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. A daily podcast from Ireland about opinions.
Now, what Jonathan was saying there just before the break about what about all the other charges? Okay, give the courts time, okay? Like, they're getting through these things. You do realise the amount of footage that they've so many Gardaí working on these cases about the riots. The amount of footage that people have to...
This lad, he is a scumbag, let's be honest. This scumbag, for the way he behaves, is going to go into prison, and he's probably going to come out...
Well, he won't do 3.5 years.
No, he won't do 3.5 years, but he's probably going to come out more fucked up than when he went in as well.
But shouldn't.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is there are people out there walking around with how many, on bail, with how many convictions for like everything. Sexual assault, almost attempted murder, all of that stuff. And they're walking around with, 150 convictions, some of them.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, as I said, I'm not arguing the fact that he deserves to have something, but I think the reason that I think an example is being made out of him. I think the judge is making an example out of him here, and it's basically a deterrent, which I agree to a point but I think 3.5 years is just, it's a lot. It will destroy the rest of his life.